Good evening and welcome to Nighttime Mental Prayer with Shalom Kaysen. Today's topic is the way, the truth, the life. Before we begin, make sure you hit the like button. It takes a millisecond. It takes such an inconsequential amount of time, and it would really help me a lot. So please hit the like button, and after you're done with that, hit the share button so that this video can be shared with someone you know who might benefit from it. Thank you so much. And we're going to start with our enlightenment prayer in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. My God, I firmly believe that thou art everywhere present and seest all things. Cleanse my heart from all vain, wicked, and distracting thoughts. Enlighten my understanding and inflame my will, that I may pray with reverence, attention, and devotion. Give me light to know my faults, and grant me grace to be truly sorry for my sins. Today's quote is from the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 6. I am the way and the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. And we're just going to reflect on this quote for a short while. And here's the quote again. I am the way and the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. All right, moving on to our reflection, I want you to sit quietly and consider this. How could you have been more faithful to Jesus today? Here's the quote. I am the way and the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. How could you have been more faithful to Jesus today? Here's the reflection. How could you have been more faithful to Jesus today? And the quote, I am the way and the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. How could you have been more faithful to Jesus today? All right, moving on to our next reflection. How does Jesus make your life better? Here's the quote. I am the way and the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. How does Jesus make your life better? Here's the reflection. How does Jesus make your life better? And the quote, I am the way and the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. How does Jesus make your life better? All right, now we're going to move on to our Thanksgiving prayer. Almighty and eternal God, I adore thee and I thank thee for all the benefits which thou in thy infinite goodness and mercy has conferred upon me. And moving on to our resolution, the most important part of mental prayer, the thing that makes it so efficacious and so beneficial is that we are not only reflecting on some spiritual topic, in today's case, the gospel, but we are also resolving to change our lives based on that information, that enlightenment we received from the Holy Spirit. So based on this reflection, we should resolve to avoid every sin we possibly can. However, we should especially resolve to avoid one particular deadly sin, and there are 7 of them. Now, some people might say, well, I know for a fact I have a particular sin that I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with XYZ. And it would be good to try to avoid that. However, every sin comes from one of these 7 deadly sins. So you could go to the bottom. For example, if you're trying to cut a tree down, you could go and cut off each branch one by one and then cut the tree down. Or you could go to the root, the base of the tree, and start chopping at the trunk. These 7 deadly sins are trunks of sin. They each have their own tree where all the little sins branch off. You might have a sin that you're dealing with that isn't exactly one of these 7 deadly sins, but I tell you for a fact that that sin comes from one of these deadly sins. So I'm going to go through them real quick, and you can think about which one might be the best for you to avoid tomorrow during your daily goings on. So we have lust, envy, also known as jealousy, gluttony, greed, also known as materialism, wrath or anger, pride, and sloth, which is also known as laziness. So based on this reflection, I would say a good choice is pride, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no other way, and it is pride and only pride that makes us feel like there might be another way. Well, maybe these people can get to heaven if they are good people. Well, that's not what Jesus says here. He says he is the way. He's not one particular way based on many different ways. He's the way. And if anybody gets to heaven who isn't a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ and of his teachings, exactly how he taught them, then here's my take. The only way someone would get to heaven who is, let's say, a Muslim, or let's say an atheist, or maybe somebody who practiced witchcraft. And hey, take it with a grain of salt, because like I said, this is just my take. But someone would have to be on their deathbed, or maybe they just died. And as we know, or maybe you don't know, there is a moment between life and death where maybe the pulse has stopped or the brain activity has stopped, but the person might not be technically dead. There might be still some activity, but we can't see it from a medical standpoint. There could be a split second between when you're fully alive and when your body's fully alive and your body's fully dead. A split second. God does not work in time. So he could stretch that millisecond, that tiny moment, and give the person another opportunity to accept Christ, kind of like a lucid dream or maybe like a vision. But here's the problem. If someone didn't accept Christ in life, it is going to be, if they get that opportunity, like a second, third, or whatever you call it, chance, then it will be much more difficult for them to accept him at that moment. If you've been accepting Christ every day of your life and Christ appears in that split moment, then it'll be very easy to just run into his arms and just say, and to just fall down on your knees. Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word and my soul shall be healed. It will be very easy to say that if you've been saying it over and over all your life. So yes, Jesus has a way to save those who don't follow him. But you really have to think of it this way, and this is why evangelization is important. You have to think of it this way. If you have been accepting something, for example, if you are a mover and you move furniture around, and every time your partner comes say, hey, you need help with that couch? Nah, I don't need help. You need help with that couch? Nah, I don't need help. You're healthy, you're strong. You can move this couch on your own. Once you actually hurt your arm, for example, I don't know, in a boating accident, you come back to work and the guy's like, hey, do you need help? You know your arm is hurt. You know that you can't lift the couch by yourself, but it is ingrained in you to deny the help. I'm strong enough. That's pride right there. So you're not going to accept the help. You're going to say, no, I don't need help, even though you know for a fact that your arm is throbbing in pain. You can't lift the couch on your own, but you're going to do it anyway. You're going to hurt yourself more. Why'd you do that? It doesn't make any sense. The point I'm getting at is, if you're not accepting Christ every day of your life, then you're not going to accept him on your deathbed, even if he expands that moment between life and death and gives you another opportunity. And I'm sure that he will. He's giving everyone a chance. Hey, I know in life you didn't really know me, but here's your chance to accept me. You lived in the Amazon in the middle where nobody has ever gone. They don't know your tribe exists. And you lived off the land. You don't know about phones and TV, whatever. But here I am. Here's my teaching. Do you accept it? Maybe some people will. Maybe some people won't. It will depend on pride. Do I know more than this person who is appearing? Or am I going to accept what he's telling me? So pride is a good deadly sin to avoid, and pride is the ultimate deadly sin. You could really just work on pride just your whole life and not worry about any other deadly sin, and you will become such a better person. Pride is the sin that made Satan fall from grace. Pride is the ultimate deadly sin. We're going to move on because I've waxed eloquent on this far too much. A resolution. My God, I offer thee these resolutions unless thou deignest to bless them. I cannot be faithful